going live, going live, going live, going live, going live, going live. What's going on, YouTube? It's Unger to the Max here. A salute to you. And I'm coming at you with episode 2 of my schedule predictions and division previews. Yesterday was the AFC East. So today is the NFC East. Hey, what's up, Kuram? And so the order is going to be, let's see. The exact order will be the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington. You might hear me, I might say their team name once during this video. I might say it once. So it's good. This video is going to be just like yesterday's. Not the I've been thinking one, the division preview one, where I talk about, go through each team's schedule, predict which games they'll win, which games they'll lose, whether they make the playoffs, what their strength will be, what their weakness will be, and who their X factor is. All right, so let's start with America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Although I don't think they're America's team. They just gave themselves that that title, but in my opinion, it's not really true. But anyway, and they're the only team in the NFL, I believe, that wears their away jerseys at home so that Dallas fans get the unique experience of seeing the visiting team in their home colors. Yeah, so the NFC East plays the NFC North and the AFC East. Plus, each team from the NFC East will play one team from the NFC South, and the AFC, so the NFC East is playing the NFC West, NFC North, and the AFC East. And in addition, each team from the NFC East will play one team from the NFC South and one team from the NFC West. It all depends on how you finished in the standings. So since the Cowboys won the division, they'll be playing the New Orleans Saints and the LA Rams. So let's start with the Dallas Cowboys, who again are supposedly are America's team. I put them in quotes because I feel like only the Cowboys and Cowboys fans believe they're America's team. I don't. I think Green Bay is America's team, or maybe Pittsburgh is America's team, but not the Cowboys. Anyway, so the Cowboys are an interesting team because, you know, Dak Prescott wants a new contract, Amari Cooper wants a new contract, and Zeke is holding out right now because he wants a new contract, and I don't think he's going to report to the Cowboys until he gets the new contract. So we'll see. Maybe his holdout goes into the regular season, and if that does happen, how will the Cowboys handle it? So even though they don't have Zeke, I'm still going to say that the strength of this Cowboys team is their offensive line. They were really good last season, and that's what allowed Zeke to have such a good season, is the offensive line creating holes and lanes for Zeke to go through. And the offensive line gave Dak Prescott time to find receivers like Amari Cooper when the Cowboys got him late in the season, and other receivers. Speaking of the receiving corps, even though the Cowboys have Amari Cooper, I still say they have too many. They have Randall Cobb. I don't trust their receiving corps enough, and I don't trust their tight ends. So I'm going to say their pass catchers are going to be their biggest weakness. And their X factor, Jason Witten. How much can he contribute, being that he just came out of retirement and he's up there in age? So let's go through the Dallas Cowboys schedule. Week 1, home against the New York Giants. Giants are in a bit of a rebuild phase, and Eli Manning's probably going to be their starting quarterback again, at least for the first part. And I think the Cowboys defense is going to swarm him, and he doesn't have a safety blanket. So I'm going to say the Cowboys win that game. So I'm just going to go down to the New York Giants schedule and put an L for week 1, because week 1 for the Cowboys, home against the New York Giants, which means week 1 for the New York Giants at Dallas Cowboys. You get it. Okay, week 2 at Washington. Again, when I first introduced them, I might say their team name, but that's it. So week 2 at Washington. I don't know who Washington's quarterback is going to be. Is it going to be Dwayne Haskins? Is it going to be Case Keenum? Is it going to be Colt McCoy? Who is it going to be? And whoever it is, who's he going to throw to? Washington doesn't have a good receiving core, in my opinion. Yes, they have Vernon Davis, but other than that, who does Washington have on offense? Seriously, who does Washington have on offense? That's a serious question. Other than Vernon Davis, who does Washington have on offense? I don't know. So because of that unknown factor for me, I'm going to say that the Giants win that game. The Cowboys win that game. So I'm going to go down to Washington's schedule and just mark home versus Dallas Cowboys as a loss. AP. Oh, bandwagoner. You mean Adrian Peterson. Okay, so the Washington has Adrian Peterson and Vernon Davis. That's not enough on offense. Okay, so Dallas. Back to Dallas. Week 3. Home against the Miami Dolphins. Ryan Fitzpatrick will probably be the Dolphins quarterback until they switch over to Josh Rosen, or maybe it'll be Josh Rosen right off the bat. But the Dolphins don't really have anything on offense. They're in a total rebuild. Dallas beats them. So I have them starting 3-0. They're riding high. But it's all going to come crashing down week 4 on Sunday Night Football in New Orleans against the Saints. Here's why. Number 1, the Cowboys beat the Saints last year on Thursday Night Football in Dallas, so the Saints will want their revenge. Number 2, the Saints are going to be ticked off this season because of how the NFC Championship ended for them. And I don't just mean losing it in overtime on a Greg Zuerlein game-winning field goal. I mean, the no call. So I think the Saints are going to be on a mission. And because of that, I'm going to say the Cowboys lose. So they're 3-1, and they're coming home in week 5 to play the Green Bay Packers. Now, Green Bay doesn't have a lot on offense. That I will say. I don't think Green Bay has a lot on offense. But for some reason, it feels like Aaron Rodgers has the Cowboys' number. And until the Cowboys show me something to change my opinion about that, I'm going to say the Packers beat the Cowboys, even though it's in Dallas. So, Cowboys lose. So now they're on a 2-game losing streak. And now they're going to play the New York Jets in New York, technically New Jersey. And I'm pretty sure I had the Jets winning this game yesterday. And because of that, I think the Jets will surprise people. I think they'll surprise people. And they will beat the Dallas Cowboys. So they're on a little 3-game losing streak going to week 7 at home against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. So Philadelphia's in a tough spot this season. They have Carson Wentz as their starting quarterback, but if he gets injured, they don't have the safety net of Nick Foles because he's now the starting quarterback in Jacksonville. So what if Carson Wentz is injured and done for the season by week 6? It could be Nate Sudfeld, it could be Cody Kessler. Don't know. Part of that is because it's preseason. And again, the reason I'm doing these videos now, even though it's only week 2 of the preseason, is because I move into college on Friday. And once college starts, I'm not sure when I'll have time to get these videos done. So I figured just get them done now and on the channel. So anyway, since I don't know who Carson Wentz's backup is going to be, I don't know what happens if Carson Wentz gets injured. And for some reason, even though Doug Peterson can be very creative on offense, there's just something about this Philadelphia Eagles offense that I don't like. 10 grade going to start for me Monday. Oh, yeah. My last year of college starts on next Monday, the 26th. But anyway, since I don't know, like I said, even though Doug Peterson is very creative on offense, I mean, we saw that in Super Bowl 52, I just don't trust the Eagles offense enough against this Cowboys defense. So I'm going to say the Cowboys win that game. And they are 1, 2, 3. Going into their week 8 bye week, I have the Cowboys at 4-3. And coming off their bye week, they play the New York Giants on the road on Monday Night Football. But again, don't know if Eli Manning's going to be the starting quarterback or if Daniel Jones is going to be the starting quarterback. Whoever it is, I don't like the Giants' offensive line. And yes, they have Sterling Shepard. Yes, they have Saquon Barkley. Yes, they have Evan Ingram. But I don't trust the Giants' offense enough either. So I'm going to say the Cowboys win that game. Week 10, home against the Minnesota Vikings, Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a good game. Battle of defenses. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, close game. But, and this might surprise you, but I'm going to say the Dallas Cowboys will lose to the Minnesota Vikings at home on Sunday Night Football. And here's why. I like what the Vikings have on offense more than what Dallas has. Yes, I know Dallas has Jason Witten, Zeke. Cowboys to Super Bowl? No. Good try, Doug Diamande Jr., but no. They'll go to the playoffs, but Super Bowl? No. But even though the Cowboys have Zeke, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, Jason Witten, I like what the Vikings have more with Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph. Who's their running back? Oh, Dalvin Cook, Jerick McKinnon. No, McKinnon's in San Francisco. I don't remember who their backup running back is. But I just like what the Vikings have on offense a little bit more. But don't worry, Cowboys fans. You're not going to have... Yeah, Kirk Cousins... That's the one thing about the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is their quarterback. But I'm going to say he actually shows up for a big game, and the Vikings beat the Cowboys. But don't worry, Cowboys fans. You get to play the Detroit Lions next in Week 11. And the Lions are total trash. Matthew Stafford is not an elite quarterback. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. And I think the Lions are trying to model themselves after the New England Patriots, and they're just not. So the Cowboys will beat the Lions. Don't worry. Week 12 at the New England Patriots. This should be a Sunday night football game, but it's not. It's one of those... It's probably going to be America's game of the week. Anyway, so could it be a Super Bowl preview? Maybe. A Super Bowl 54 preview? Maybe. But it's either us or the Eagles going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. Ooh, I'm not so sure. You got the Giants, you got the Saints, Rams, Seahawks are still around. 49ers could be a factor. Vikings, maybe. AFC, it will be the Chiefs or Pats. Hey, what about us? The orange helmet? I did not say the Giants. Doug Diamande Jr. I never said the Giants. For the NFC, I said maybe the Cowboys, maybe the Eagles, but don't forget about the Rams or the Seahawks, maybe the 49ers, possibly the Vikings, Saints, and the Bears. And then from the AFC, it will be the Chiefs or Pats. Well, yeah, but it could also, I don't think the Steelers, maybe the Browns. I think it's going to be a year early, so probably Chiefs or Pats. Hopefully the Chiefs. I don't want the Patriots in another Super Bowl. But anyway, Week 12 at the Patriots. I want to choose the Cowboys. I really do. This will be a battle of America's teams, because the Cowboys self-proclaim themselves to be America's team. Although I don't think the Cowboys are America's team. I think Pittsburgh or Green Bay are America's team. But the Patriots are the team that America loves to hate. I don't consider the Cowboys to be America's team. I think that's just this title they gave themselves. But anyway, so yes, this will be a battle of America's teams, but I want to choose the Cowboys. I want to choose the Cowboys, but I can't. I'm sorry. I have to choose the Patriots. So that means it's a loss for the Cowboys. Cowboys are America's team. We have the best TV ratings every week. We make the most revenue out of all teams. Okay, both those facts might be true, but that doesn't mean you're America's team. Anyway, Week 13, home against the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving. The Bills are going to be a sneaky good team this season, but they're not at the level of the Dallas Cowboys yet. Maybe in a couple years, but not yet. So I'm going to say, I think it could be a close game. Close, but Dallas gets the win. Week 14 at the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football. So my apologies about the dinging. It's because my family is texting. And I'm receiving the text messages. This could be a potential NFC Championship preview, which is why I hate that it's on Thursday Night Football. The NFL absolutely, positively needs to get rid of Thursday Night Football. It's so stupid. not only does it not give a team enough time to prepare for an opponent, but it doesn't give a player enough time to recover, like after having just played on Sunday, and it doesn't give a team as a whole time to relax having just played on a Sunday. Playing on Monday Night Football, I'm fine with. Playing on Sunday Night Football, that's cool. Thursday Night Football needs to be stopped. It's terrible. I hate it. Hold on, I'm just messaging somebody back. Yeah. So let's see. Week 14, Thursday Night Football at the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a low-scoring game. And I like Mitch Trubisky, and I like what the Bears have on offense, but I think the Dallas Cowboys defense might be a little bit too much for them. So I'm going to say the Bears win that game. Or, I'm sorry, the Cowboys win that game. Week 15, home against the LA Rams, the NFC champion from last season. Although, again, they should not have been in the Super Bowl. But anyway, home against the Rams. The Rams showed last season that if they face a really good defense, they are beatable. And the Cowboys have one of the best defenses in the game. So, sorry, Rams, but the Cowboys are going to beat you. So now they're riding a 3-game winning streak into Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Eagles. And this game could potentially be the one that decides who wins the NFC East. Now, as much as I want to choose the Eagles, I don't know if Carson Wentz can stay healthy for a full season. And if he does get injured, who's going to be his backup quarterback? Because this season, he doesn't have Nick Foles as his safety net, because Nick Foles is now the starting quarterback in Jacksonville for the Jaguars. So, because I don't know if Carson Wentz is going to be the starting quarterback or will be playing, I'm going to say the Cowboys get the win and they sweep the Eagles. And then week 17 versus Washington, I'm just going to say, sure, the Cowboys win. So they end the season with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you going somewhere? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-game winning streak. So that gives the Cowboys a final record of, let's see, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4. No, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 6-4, 6-5, 7-5, 8-5, 9-5, 10-5. I'm going to say the Cowboys go 11-5. That is my final schedule. That's my record prediction for the Dallas Cowboys. Good enough to win the NFC, good enough to make the playoffs, probably good enough to win the division. Probably good enough to be either the 1 or 2 seed in the NFC, but they won't make it to the Super Bowl. I think maybe they'll make it past the first round of the playoffs, but they won't. They'll lose in the NFC Championship. They'll find a way. All right. So from Dallas, who I don't understand why they're in the NFC East when they're all the way in Texas. Maybe you move the Cowboys to the NFC South and you move the Carolina Panthers to the NFC East. Although that would ruin the rivalries that the Cowboys have with the Eagles and Giants. And I don't think the Cowboys really have a rivalry with Washington. But anyway, so on to the New York Giants. I'm just responding to a message. There we go. So on to the New York Giants. The Giants are definitely in a rebuild phase. I mean, they traded Odell Beckham Jr., they traded Olivier Vernon, both to the Browns. And instead of drafting a quarterback last year, they drafted Saquon Barkley, and then they surprised everybody this year by passing on Dwayne Haskins and take Andrew Luck and instead taking Daniel Jones. Now, I heard this was because he's a lot like Eli Manning. And yeah. So, anyway, so what will the strength of the New York Giants be? I like their linebackers. So I'll say their linebackers are going to be their strength, but their weakness will be their receivers or their pass catchers. Other than Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard, to me, the Giants don't really have anyone. Kind of like the Cowboys, who have Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, and Jason Witten, but nobody else. Yes, they use Zeke as a receiver sometimes, but he's a running back. So, yeah. And the X factor for the Giants will be, I'm going to say Sterling Shepard. He's an underrated receiver, and I think with no Odell, he's going to become the number one receiver. So let's see if he can step up. Okay, so on to schedule prediction and record prediction. So week 1, I already have them losing to the Cowboys. Week 2, home against the Buffalo Bills. I believe I had the Bills winning this game. So I'm going to say the Giants lose. Because I think I had the Bills going 1-1 on their quick New York trip, losing at the Jets, but beating the Giants. So, week 3, at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to say the Giants are actually going to win this game because I don't trust Jameis Winston. It's that simple. I don't trust Jameis Winston as the Buccaneers quarterback. I don't. Week 4 at home against Washington. Another win for the Giants. So I'm going to go to Washington's schedule and I guess I should have marked it. Washington schedule and mark week 4 at the Giants as a loss. All right, but let's focus on the Giants schedule. Okay, week 5, home against the Minnesota Vikings. Sorry, the Vikings defense is way too much for the Giants. Loss. Week 6, Thursday night football at the New England Patriots. I want to give the Giants the win here. I do. I so badly do. Because the Giants have beaten the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. And the last time they the Giants played the Patriots in New England, the Giants beat them. But the Giants are in too much of turmoil right now. Patriots are a really solid team. So, sorry, but I'm giving the Giants a loss. Week 7, home against Arizona. It's going to be battle of the rookies. Kyler Murray, maybe, against Daniel Jones, maybe. And I'm going to say the Giants actually get the win. And they're going to start a little winning streak, a 2-game winning streak. Because I'm going to say they beat the Detroit Lions in Detroit in Week 8. But Week 9 on Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys, sorry, but I think I had the Cowboys winning this game. Yeah, I did. So, sorry, but the Giants are going to lose. Week 10 at the New York Jets. It's a home game for the Jets, but the Giants will be in their own stadium. But still, I like the Jets' offense and defense a little bit more than I like the Giants. So I'm going to give the Jets the win and the Giants another loss. Week 11 is their bye week. Week 12 at the Chicago Bears. Even though Trubisky struggles as quarterback of the Bears sometimes, that Bears defense is just going to be too much for the Giants, and they lose. Week 13, home against the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to say the Giants pull off a miracle, and they somehow win that game. Week 14, Monday Night Football at the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz might not be playing because he'll probably be injured, but still, it's in Philadelphia. I don't trust the Giants enough. Sorry, but the Giants lose. Week 15, home against the Dolphins. Dolphins don't have anybody. Even if Josh Rosen is playing, I'm still going to say the Giants are going to win that game. Week 16 at Washington. Sure, I'll say the Giants win. Why not? Week 17, home versus against Philadelphia. Sure, I'll say the Giants win because the Eagles will have already locked up their playoff position. And yeah, they won't need to play anybody, so they'll rest their guys and say, okay, Giants, you can win. What the heck? Final record for the Giants. 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, 3-4, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, 4-7, 5-7, 5-8, 6-8, 7-8, 8. I'm gonna say the Giants, and this might be being generous with them, but I'm gonna say the Giants finish 8-8. Not good enough to make the playoffs, though. Okay, on to the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles are an interesting team this season because they don't have Nick Foles. So I don't know who's going to be the quarterback if Carson Wentz gets injured. They had a disappointing end to the season, losing in New Orleans. Although they should have lost to the Bears. And I'm not just saying because of the double doink, but I'm not 100% sure that Golden Tate play was a touchdown. It wasn't 100% a touchdown to me. But there were a couple chances for the Bears to put that game away and not put themselves in the position to trust Cody Parkey for a game-winning field goal. But the Giants couldn't get it done. Or the Bears couldn't get it done. So the Eagles escaped, and then they went down to New Orleans, and they were beating the Saints for a while, and then the Saints pulled off a magic trick, and Alshon Jeffrey couldn't catch the ball at the end of the game, and he felt like he lost it for the team. So yeah. So what's going to be the strength of the Eagles this season? I like what they have at receiver, so I'll say their receiving core will be their strength. And I'm going to say their weakness will be their quarterbacks and their X factor, Carson Wentz health. Yeah. Okay. So week 1, home against Washington. Don't know who Washington's starting quarterback is going to be, other than Vernon Davis and Adrian Peterson. Who do they have on offense? So the Eagles win. Week 2, Sunday Night Football at the Atlanta Falcons. So the last 2 times the Eagles have played the Falcons, the Eagles have had the Falcons number. But on the one time in the playoffs, that game came down to the last minute, and it came down to an incomplete pass by Matt Ryan to Julio Jones for the Eagles to win that game. And in both games, Nick Foles was the starting quarterback. This time they're going to have Carson Wentz. But Carson Wentz can't prove that he can stay healthy. But at the same time, and Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and, who's that other receiver from Georgia or from Alabama? Oh, Julio Jones. Yeah, there we go. Julio Jones. They'll be at home. So I think the Falcons are going to win this game. So meaning the Eagles will lose. Week 3, home against Detroit. Detroit doesn't really have anything. So I'm going to say the Eagles win. Week 4, Thursday Night Football at the Green Bay Packers. I don't think I want to choose the Packers. I do. But I just don't trust their defense enough against this Eagles offense. So I'm going to say the Eagles go into Lambeau on Thursday Night Football and they beat the Packers. Week 5, home against the Jets. This could be a trap game for the Eagles. So they should be warned. They should be concerned. But I think the Eagles are a little bit more experienced than the Jets, and they're more familiar with their offense. So I'm going to say the Eagles win. So they're running a nice 3-game winning streak going into week 6 at Minnesota. So they'll be returning to the stadium where they won Super Bowl 52. So, and I think they'll be a little bit distracted by, we're in the stadium where we won the Super Bowl, and the Vikings are going to catch them off guard. So I'm going to say the Vikings beat them. Week 7, Sunday Night Football at Dallas. What did I have on the Cowboys schedule? I had the Cowboys winning this game, so I'm going to mark it on the Eagles schedule as a loss. Week 8 at the Buffalo Bills. Well, the Eagles are going to be riding a 2-game losing streak, but even though I like Buffalo and I think they could be a playoff team this season, they're not ready for the Eagles. So I'm going to say the Eagles win. Week 9, home against the Chicago Bears. You know the Bears are going to want revenge. You know the Bears. All they're going to hear about is the double doink, and they're going to want to come into Philadelphia and put that to bed. And even though Carson Wentz is a good quarterback, again, I don't know if he can stay healthy. And I really like the Bears' defense this season. So the Bears are going to get their revenge and beat the Eagles. Week 10 is their bye week. Week 11, home against the New England Patriots, which is a Super Bowl 52 rematch, but without Nick Foles. Again, I don't know if Carson Wentz will be healthy, but I'm going to assume that he is. And I think the Eagles will continue to beat the Patriots. I think the Eagles figured out how to beat the Patriots, and they'll do it again. Do I think they'll pull off another Philly special? Maybe not, but I think the Eagles will still beat the Patriots. Week 12, Sunday Night Football, home against the Seattle Seahawks. I like the Seahawks. I think Russell Wilson is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league, And I'm going to say the Seahawks beat them. So week 12 is a loss. Week 13 at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are hot garbage. So the Eagles win that game. Week 14, Monday Night Football, home against the Giants. Let's see. What did I have the Giants do? Yep, I had the Eagles winning. So let's mark it on that. Week 15 at Washington. Nah, I don't trust Washington enough. Eagles win. Week 16, home against Dallas. Could be for the division. And let's see. What did I have it marked as on the Cowboys schedule? I had the Cowboys winning, so sorry, Philadelphia, but that means you lose. And week 17, I'm going to say the Giants win because the Eagles will be resting their players because they will have clinched the playoff spot. Yeah. So, what do I have the Eagles' final record as? 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 6-4, 6-5, 7-5, 8-5, 9-5, 9-6, 9-7. So I have the Eagles going 9-7. Not quite good enough to be a playoff team. They'll be finishing third place in the or 9-7. So actually, yes, that is good enough for a wild card spot. Okay, time for the Washington. This is going to be the one time you hear me say it. Time for the Washington Redskins. That's going to be the only time you ever hear me say that. Okay, so Washington. Who's going to be their starting quarterback? Is it going to be Dwayne Haskins? Is it going to be Case Keenum? Is it going to be Colt McCoy? Who's it going to be? I think Washington will make some strides this season, but I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're still a year or two away. And I don't really think they have anybody on offense. So what will be their strength? I'm going to say their running game with Adrian Peterson. Their weakness will be their passing game. Now, so schedule prediction time. Week 1 at the Philadelphia Eagles. I had the Eagles winning this game, which means Washington loses. And then week 2, I have them losing at home to Dallas. Week 3, Monday Night Football, home against the Chicago Bears. Sorry, the Bears are just better than you. So 0-3. At the New York Giants, I have Washington losing that game, so 0-4. Week 5, home against the New England Patriots. 0-5. Week 6, at the Miami Dolphins. Yay! Washington gets their first win. Congratulations! You're 1-5. Week 7, home against the San Francisco 49ers. Hey, how did that one win feel? Because you're not going to beat the 49ers. So 1-6. Week 8, Thursday Night Football at the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe you catch the Vikings by surprise at first, but then the Vikings figure it out, and they beat you. Week 9 at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's an up-and-coming team this season. And Washington is still in a bit of a rebuild, but I think they'll surprise people, and they'll beat the Bills. So they're 2-7. Week 10 is their bye week. Week 11, home against the Jets. I like the Jets a lot. I think they'll be a playoff team. Washington, like I said, is in total rebuild mode, so the Jets beat them. Week 12, home against the Detroit Lions. Hey, the Washington gets a win. Week 13 at Carolina. Sorry, Carolina's going to beat you. Week 14 at Green Bay. Yeah, you're not beating Aaron Rodgers. Week 15, home against Philadelphia. What did I have the Eagles doing in this game? Yeah, I have the Eagles winning this game. Week 16, home against the Giants. What did I have the Giants doing? Yep, I had the Giants winning this game. So that means another loss for Washington. And I'm sure I had Dallas winning in week 17 in Dallas against Washington. Yep, I did. So, the final record for Washington: 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, 1-5, 1-6, 1-7, 2-7, 2-8, 3-8, 3-9, 3-10, 4-10, 4-11, and 5. I have Washington going 5-11. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, punch that like button like a UFC fighter and punch that subscribe button. If you didn't agree with my schedule predictions or one of my specific game predictions, write something in the comment section below. So tomorrow will be the AFC South. So that we'll start with the Houston Texans, then we'll go to the Tennessee Titans, then the Indianapolis Colts, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars. So until next time, this is Unger to the Max signing off with a salute to you.